let's bring in our experts to see what they make of her behavior. In the studio with me, renowned private investigator and layered voice analysis expert, TJ Ward is with me. TJ, good morning.
Good morning.
Joining us remotely, body language expert, author, and senior instructor at the Body Language Institute, Mr. Rodney Smith is with us as well. Rodney, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let's start with a clip here. This is when Michelle Gaffney, who is the Associate Dean of Students at the University of Mount Union, is in the courtroom. And unfortunately for her, she is literally on the phone with Brenda Powell as the attack starts. And she hears a thud. And we now know that thud to be the smack with that big cast iron skillet. And here, Michelle Gaffney is in the courtroom describing what the struggle sounded like to her on the other end of the phone. Let's watch Sidney Powell's body language together now.
What happened next?
There was a very large, or a very loud sort of thud sound, like a pounding or a thud, accompanied by a pretty loud scream. The other sound that I heard at that same time, or right after, was sort of an expulsion of air, like the air was knocked out of somebody.
Okay.
I'd always heard that expression of the air being knocked, having the wind knocked out of you, but I didn't. That's actually what it sounded like. And then several more repeated thuds.
Okay, Rodney Smith, to you, looking at her, what does her body language tell you, please?
Now, when I first see this, it appears, or she's giving the appearance that she's actually covering her ears. And this is a form of blocking, because this is almost indicative of how we see the proverbial ostrich whenever they get ready to bury their head in the sand. It's a way of saying, I don't want to see this. I don't want to be present in this situation. But as we notice here, if she were truly covering her ears, why would she still be able to hear what is being stated, as well as make certain facial expressions to express some type of displeasure, as she's giving the impression that she's not liking what she's hearing? But one of the clips earlier showed it looks like part of her thumb was in the ear, and here she's actually covering up part of her head, or part of her ear. But I believe that this is just a symbolic way of saying, I don't want to hear or see what awful thing that I've done at this time.
That is very consistent with what we've seen as well in her attorney asking the court to excuse her with the very graphic testimony coming. And perhaps we're going to hear more about why as the defense presents, as they're promising 3 experts to go into what they say was the undiagnosed, untreated schizophrenia that they say she was suffering from. I have a clip for you, TJ Ward. You are the only private investigator in the United States who does layered voice analysis. So we're going to listen closely together and see what her statements are saying to you. This is the body camera footage from police, and we're just hearing the audio. We don't see the video, but she's talking about possible injuries. Let's listen.
Are you cut?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're cut somewhere.
I don't think so.
Yeah, your hand.
No, I was helping her. I grabbed her.
All right, stop. I'll tell you what, can you sit on the ground here real quick? Come on. Come on.
You said the ground.
Yeah, you're fine right there.
No.
You're fine right there.
I grabbed the knife.
Okay, TJ Ward, what did you hear there, please?
Well, I mean, she's out of control, and she apparently got some serious emotional problems. And I can see that when I run the layered voice analysis. And if she's schizophrenia, I can see that in a test. If I could sit down with her, with law enforcement, or after they've sit down and had an interview with her about what transpired, I would be able to see what's going on with her. I would be able to detect lies, and if she's trying to intimidate or whatever, I can see that. And I can see whether she is schizophrenia and what her problems are. I mean, this is a 21st century truth technology, and I can see everything that's going on with her. And my next question is her last answer. And the more she rambles and talks, the better it is.
Right, right. We've got another clip of her talking. We want to play it for you now, TJ. This is where she's saying how much she wants her dad. And again, this is right after the homicide of her mother.
You're gonna be okay.
Come on. Come on, come on. You just need to cooperate with me, all right?
I want my dad.
Huh?
I want my dad.
What happened? What's going on? What's going on?
We heard a bang. We heard a bang, and she told me to get out. And then I heard screaming. So I came back, and she was on the ground.
Okay, you heard a
I ran
bang.
out back. There was a bang. Someone broken.
All right, TJ Ward, what'd that clip tell you?
That, I mean, she's totally out of control. I mean, she's got big, deep emotional problems, and this is a great focus tool for law enforcement to be able to sit down. It can't be used in court no more than the polygraph can, but it's a complement to the polygraph. And being able to sit down and talk to her is a focus tool for law enforcement to find out exactly what's going on with her. And again, if she is schizophrenia, I would be able to see it in a test.
Mm-hmm. And that would require, what would a test look like? You sitting down with her in person, and how does it go?
Yeah, I sit down, there's 3 ways you can use the voice analysis. I can do it over the phone, I can do it from a recording, or I can sit down live with her with a microphone and be able to qualify her and get a voice print of her, and I can see her emotional ups and downs, and I can see what she's thinking. I can tell, and again, it's a great focus tool to be able to find out. My next question is your last answer, and so.
Wow.
But anyway, it's a great tool to be used. Law enforcement across the U.S. uses it, and the federal government also uses it. The Department of Defense uses it, and but it's a great tool to be able to use to find out what real answers are, and what's going to be able to focus on when going to court, and be able to focus on what she's being said.
Sure. Well, you know, and speaking of, do you also go in and testify in court as an expert witness?
Yes, very much so.
Wow, this is a big deal. I wonder if we'll see someone like you know, testifying in this case in Akron. We could.
Yes,
certainly we could.
Yes.
I know Don Malarczyk is promising 3 medical experts, which is going to be huge. And yesterday we saw Don Malarczyk walking into the courthouse. Our cameras caught him with the family of Sidney Powell. And Don has been very transparent in telling the court, telling the jury right out of the gate how supportive the family is of Sidney Powell. This is not going to be a surprise when it comes time for opening statements. I mean, look, there's Sidney Powell in the great pants, the water bottle, and we're going to roll the clip again. Rodney Smith, take a look at her carefully, please. I know the clip is short, but she's walking. There's Dad in the blue shirt. These are people who are her supporters. They are sitting there walking with her to court. She's out on bond. The family paid for the bond to be posted. Rodney, when you see her there, it's very different, obviously, than what we see with the crying and all that. Does this say anything to you? Did anything jump out in that clip?
Ultimately, as opposed to being confined in a courtroom, in a chair in front of her, being judged by a judge and her peers, she's actually out on the street. She's in a comfortable setting. She's with loved ones, so she feels safe. She feels secure. There's no threat. There's no need, because our body is actually hardwired for one of 2 things, fight or flight. And right now, she's not in either one of those because she's in a very comfortable, relaxed environment. She's with the people that support her, so there's no need for any type of emotion. But one thing that I've noticed throughout looking at some of these clips is they've talked about her potentially being having schizophrenia. And research on schizophrenia and emotions actually has revealed that people with schizophrenia have the lack of ability to recognize and express emotions. So some of the responses that I've seen, I'm wondering if she doesn't remember what was going on and she actually does have schizophrenia, why is she able to express emotion on certain keywords and phrases that she hears?
Ah, that's fascinating. Maybe we'll get that answer as the defense presents it. We hear more about what was going on. But what you said, Ronnie, about, you know, our bodies being wired to fight or flight and have that response, I wonder if that's kind of what we're seeing with her attorney asking for her to be taken out of the courtroom so she isn't there watching all of that, because I wonder if there would be some kind of an obnoxious type response, you know, where it would disrupt the courtroom. We know courtroom decor has to be maintained at all time, and she can't cause a distraction for the jury. So you got me thinking, as you always do, Rodney Smith and you, TJ Ward. We love having you both on the show. Thank you for lending us your expertise. We hope to have you back here on Opening Statements again very soon.